Topping our worldly today is a tale that seems straight out of a spy novel. So audacious, so horrific, it would have to be a work of fiction. But it's all too true. An ex-KGB agent mysteriously poisoned while having tea at a London hotel. Within days, he was dead. Well, it turns out that the plot to kill Alexander Litvinenko was likely approved at the Kremlin's highest level by none other than Russian President Vladimir Putin. That conclusion, according to a report released this morning by investigators in the UK, where Litvinenko was poisoned with polonium-210 in the year 2006. Let's get right to CNN's international diplomatic editor, Nick Robertson, who's live in London. Nick, what do investigators believe was the motive beyond the fact that he was an ex-KGB spy?
Yeah, sure. One of the things, Jake, was that he was very critical of Putin. He moved to UK in the year 2000, and he alleged such things as the big apartment bombings in Moscow in 1999 that allowed Putin to go to war in Chechnya were really a put-up job by the state. There was that. That was, when he was talking about that, that was big explosive news. We kind of know about it a little more now, but that was a big deal at the time. He was also helping the British intelligence services unravel the Russian criminal mafia that were operating clandestinely in the UK. So there was a number of reasons that Putin might have a good, strong need, if you will, to silence him.
And something also about alleging that Putin is a pedophile?
There was some of that too. His criticism of Putin was very strong, and you know, one of the witnesses in this report that came out, an unnamed witness who spoke to one of the alleged killers. The alleged killer said, "We've been told not to shoot him, but poison him, poison Litvinenko to send a strong message to the others." So this was a man who was not a friend to President Putin in any shape or form.
So, but is there evidence linking this to Putin directly?
There's no smoking gun. There's a lot of, if you will, circumstantial evidence, and a lot of things that the investigation points to. It says, look, the polonium-210, this radioactive poison that was used to kill Litvinenko, it could have only been made in a nuclear reactor. Nuclear reactors in Russia are under the control of the Russian state. But for the poison to get out of the sort of atomic energy agency there and into the hands of the intelligence services would need to be done by somebody who was overarching and above both of those. Now, in the sort of back covering way that the bureaucracy works in Russia, the assessment is that could have only been done by Putin. It is a track record of other critics being apparently silenced by being killed. So there's a lot of other details as well, but that's a principal one.
And Nick, quickly, if you could, have the Russians responded to this?
Sure. The Foreign Ministry is saying, look, this is politically motivated by the British government, that there were some secret details that weren't made public in this inquiry. That was because of the association with the British intelligence services by Litvinenko. But they're really pouring cold water on it. They're not about to hand over the alleged killers. The alleged killers themselves are saying this is not true. We're innocent.
I guess we expected that. Nick Robertson, thanks so much.